Welcome to this week's episode of Biz Success in 15, where top experts share hot tips and strategies that you can implement in as little as 15 minutes to build your dream business. And now here's your host, the Visibility Wiz, Cindy J.
Hi, I'm Cindy J, the Visibility Wiz, and welcome to this episode of Biz Success in 15, where top experts share hot tips and strategies that you can implement in 15 minutes or less to grow your business. Today, our guest is Melanie Milletics, and she is the entrepreneur's hypnotherapist. With more than 20 years experience in coaching and consulting and in sales and marketing, she intimately knows the subconscious blocks that keep entrepreneurs in self-sabotage and financially stuck for years on end. Her rapid transformational therapy sessions set the genius free to reach their highest potential in all areas of life. Melanie's a happy wife and mother of 2 teens. She holds firm to her rules for life, which include the more fun I have, the more money I make, an empty calendar, full bank account. Welcome, Melanie. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Cindy. I so appreciate it. And I love this idea of what you can do in 15 minutes or less, because that totally fits in my empty calendar, full bank account philosophy. So
provide. And to be started, can you share a personal or business challenge that you had to overcome to achieve your level of success?
Yes, I did. And it really has to do with the roller coaster of success. I think anybody who's been in business for any number of years will agree that we are constantly hitting new levels of success, and then we tend to have setbacks. And that hopefully when you get back up the next time, your setback isn't as bad. Well, I had an extreme setback just a little over a year ago. And essentially what I found was I got really, really ill as a result of overworking myself. So I just about worked myself to death. And just can't believe it was just a year ago. I worked myself to the level of financial success that people are looking for. And I was an absolutely miserable millionaire. It made no sense to me. And then I beat myself up for being like, how the heck can I be unhappy and everything isn't perfect in my world when I have everything that I always wanted or thought I wanted, more than I expected, right? Mm-hmm. It was awful. And even though I pulled back and I started to really get my head around what it means to be successful by my definition, it's my body kind of had already taken the toll. So about a year ago, I got knocked off my place. I couldn't do the business that I was professional in regardless. And I had to reevaluate my life, the way I worked, the way I approached business, success. And I really came to terms with the knowledge that it doesn't have to be so hard, and it's never necessary for us to work ourselves to death.
Right. You know what I love about that is so many people do believe you have to work yourself almost to death to achieve. And so many people believe that once they get the financial success, everything's going to be perfect and they're going to be perfectly happy. So thank you for sharing your story of being the miserable millionaire and even coming back up from the illness. Now, I know you teach hypnotherapy. So how does hypnotherapy even help somebody create that type of business where they're not working so hard, to where they can really have the business that they love?
No, thank you. I really believe that with the right approach, people can learn to work from their zone of genius. And it takes a whole lot less work to make more money when you are working from a place of understanding power, that your goals are coming to fruition and you're going to persevere through any setback no matter what. So hypnotherapy plays into that, because so many of us start with a fire in our heart. We're really excited about our business idea and we're going to change the world with it. And then we can even think about all the wonderful outcomes in our life it's going to produce, the lifestyle, the income, the freedom, time with our family. And instead, they go about it in this forceful way. They end up working themselves so many hours that they lose track of everything else that's important to them. And then they lose their happiness, their joy around their business dies. So here they go from being this beautiful, enthusiastic entrepreneur who I love the entrepreneurial spirit, to being drug out, drugged down, shame, guilt for not like succeeding, et cetera, et cetera. This is because our limiting self-beliefs throw us into self-sabotage, keep us in procrastination. And most people have absolutely no idea where those limiting beliefs were planted in them, but they were. And hypnotherapy, the rapid transformational hypnotherapy that I work with my clients with, finds it, removes it, discharges it, so it can never, ever again have an effect on their life. So then they wake up with enthusiasm, they approach their business in a positive, solution-oriented way, and they work less. They literally work less because they're focused and they're positive. And you know what happens when you're looking for solutions? They tend to land in your lap. Or when you expect your goals to be met, you tend to find the people that are going to support you and the situations that you should be in that will help you, versus always looking around for who's trying to get you next. Where's the scarcity? Where's the competition? That whole realm just needs to leave the entrepreneurial mind.
Something you said, it's almost contradicting. And so I understand it, but I would love for you to explain it. Is on one hand, it's like people are working themselves to death, trying to succeed, yet the self-sabotaging beliefs are leading them to procrastination. So how is somebody feel like they're working themselves, they're working 14, 15, 16, 20 hours a day, yet in actuality, they're really procrastinating?
Well, they're procrastinating from doing the hard stuff, from doing the stuff that's actually going to help them to succeed. And they're doing that, and it might be that they have a fear of success, or they have a fear of what may happen to them when they actually succeed, and they don't even realize it. But it usually comes up in one of two ways, actually, Cindy. It's either procrastination, that people just don't get started, or it's self-sabotage. They'll get to a level where they're hitting that threshold, they're just making that amount of money that they're excited about, and then they just kind of take their foot off the gas. Or they get to that level and then drama ensues, and it's either drama that they create or somebody else. They're both self-sabotage. So in other words, they can never get past this level of income, even though they keep hitting it, and then that self-sabotage comes down. So it's like two sides of it that happen. And there might be some procrastination in there as well. They're procrastinating on taking care of their health, which will actually help them do more business. They're procrastinating on having more dates with their spouse, which will actually help them to make more money too. There's procrastination happening, and it's all over the place.
And also they're procrastinating, I think, on their happiness.
Yes, procrastinating on your happiness, as if it's not going to be here until. Hello. That if then is awful. If,
right,
or when I hit blah, 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 then I'll be happy. Well, you know what happens then? It's like you got to the top of the building on a ladder, and you get to the top of the building and you're just about to celebrate, and you realize there's another ladder.
Right.
Oh, you gotta take the time to celebrate wherever the heck you are, even if you're on that ladder. How about that?
And I know that you say that your hypnotherapy is a little bit different than the traditional hypnotherapy.
Yeah,
so how is it different?
Well, it's different in that what we do a regression, and we have some other tools that are very powerful in helping to really discharge whatever those limiting self-beliefs are. And it can be incredibly effective in as little as 1 to 3 sessions. Whereas hypnotherapy would normally be a rewriting of a script, but it's kind of writing over the script that's there. So I equate it to like a cassette tape. If you have a new one and you put your new playlist on it, cassette tape, those of you who are watching,
yeah, I'm thinking we're aging ourselves here.
But we know what it is. Well, you know what I'm saying? Because if
you have a file on the computer and you delete it.
Right. So in this case, you are deleting the file before you rewrite. Right? And therefore you have a clean slate. So that's the difference with rapid transformational therapy versus traditional hypnotherapy, which might take several sessions to get an effect, whereas this is much faster. That's why it's called rapid transformational therapy.
And why is it easier whenever you're working with a therapist like you? A lot of people are into, visualization and self-hypnotism. Is it simply because they're not removing that original block?
That's exactly right. And often our subconscious mind will keep that block out of your vision. Like you won't be able to see it. It's kind of protecting you in its own weird way. So with a hypnotherapist going in and playing detective, I go in and literally find it for you. But I'm all about visualization, self-hypnosis. I tell people daydream all the time. You are hypnotizing yourself. You're telling your mind exactly what you want so it will work for you. Absolutely. But if you find that you're doing that and you're still stuck, yeah, you're stuck.
I love that. What I say a lot of times is we're constantly creating our future anyway. We're either creating nightmares or we're creating daydreams. So why not choose to create the daydream?
That's exactly right. Yes. Love it.
And Melanie, I know that LinkedIn is your social media of choice. So can you share some tips and strategies with us on using LinkedIn, and also why is it your social media of choice?
Well, I love LinkedIn because it is incredibly effective for getting connected with ideal prospects, with people that I really can do a whole lot of business with for referring them and them referring me. And there's no other network that really works like that. And so as far as time efficiency goes, it's totally worth it for me to go into LinkedIn, connect with up to 30,000 people that would be my perfect referral partners, and connect, network, do it just like you would offline. And that's one of the biggest tips I can give for how to engage on LinkedIn, because people do it kind of weird a lot of the time. And that is
how do people, what are some of the mistakes that you said they do it weird? What are weirdness?
Well, number one, like they have a really crappy business card. Kind of like you have a really crappy business card. It doesn't really tell you what you do at all. So their profile doesn't even jive with what they're doing. Maybe it's a little resume. So they're an entrepreneur, but it still looks like a resume. So there's certain ways that you get your profile right. So it's like you're putting on your best outfit before you go to the networking group, right? So, and then they kind of can be really stiff and weird in engaging. So having a conversation. And again, it's just like going to the business networking group offline. You're going to go, you're going to connect with people. You're going to find out what they do, educate one another, find out if there's a fit for you to get on the phone. This is, it's kind of like cold calling of the old days. It's like we don't have to cold call anyone. We can go, we can shake hands, we can find out if we should hop on the phone, and having conversations all the time, the money is still in the phone. Social media may be magical, amazing, and absolutely is, but the money's still in the phone, Cindy.
With LinkedIn too, I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs say, well, my niche isn't on LinkedIn. And so I know you've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs, helping them with their sales and marketing on LinkedIn, and also using your hypnotherapy. So what do you say to these people who don't believe that LinkedIn is a good strategy for them?
Well, in some cases, they might be right. I don't want to completely say, oh, you're wrong, because some professions really are not that active on LinkedIn. They might have a profile, but they're not actively there. But your referral partners are. Hi, you could have 30,000 of your perfect referral partners who are also well connected with your perfect prospect connection. So don't discount LinkedIn just because you think your perfect prospect isn't there. I mean, I have totally reinvented myself, and I'm still finding that now LinkedIn works for me. And you can do the same. So I like that too. I'll give that as a tip. Anytime you feel like you want to kind of shift gears and go and connect with different people because it might be a better niche for your business, just change up your profile a little bit and go for it. You got 30,000 people, plenty to talk to. There's no limit to the number of people that you can talk to. And that's something that people just really got to get. That's what I teach in my LinkedIn lead system, because there's no limits to the number of people that you can talk to.
Do you also, in building your network there, do you use posts and articles and groups, and how do you use them?
Yeah, I use it all because a lot of the marketing is completely underutilized. So I use video, the articles, groups, every piece of it that I possibly can to stay in front of the people I've connected with. See, it's kind of like going to the business networking group, except you'd only be at the business networking group once a week or once a month, right?
Right.
On LinkedIn, you get to go and shake hands, exchange cards, and then they get to see you every day. Oh, how that, I mean, we're talking about know, like, and trust going way up really fast if you're there. If you're just in the inbox once and then you're quiet, nothing. Crickets.
Right.
Surprise. But if you're there on video, your articles are popping up, you are educating them about what you do all the time, you'd be surprised if you make those connections and you properly market and engage, how many people come to you to do business and you haven't even warmed them up. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Very, very good. And I know, Melanie, that you have a strategy that our listeners can implement in 15 minutes or less to grow their business. So can you share what that is?
Yeah. So I've been kind of talking about it generally, but I'm going to give it a word and you can apply this every day, because this is the number one thing. If I'm logging into LinkedIn and I've got 15 minutes, the only thing I'm doing is I am going in, I am connecting with my ideal prospect. And then I'm going into my inbox and all the people that I've connected with, I am having a conversation. And we call this social prospecting, but a lot of people, again, on LinkedIn, they do it wrong. They might just come right out and pitch from hello. And hi, if I was at the buffet at the networking group and you walked up to me and started verbal vomit, as they say, about your business, it's not going to sit real well with me, and it's not going to sit real well in the inbox either. So, and it doesn't mean that you have to like pretend that you're not going to tell them, educate them about what you do. But first, you like ask them about them. Hi, this is just simple networking 101, but ask them about themselves. And then in return, they'll say, tell me about you. Just doing this on LinkedIn is it's gonna improve everybody's results. Like everybody's business will grow if everyone actually engages this way versus just connecting and then going ghost and not saying anything in the inbox. Just marketing without connecting doesn't work either. So, or without conversation. So those two things must come together. So if you got 15 minutes a day, the most important thing to do is social prospecting, connecting, talking, interacting, setting phone appointments, getting on the phone with those who you think that you may have a fit. And just like I teach with your networking offline, if I was offline, I met you at a business networking group and I got your card, I'd say, hey, would you like to sit down for coffee to find out if you and I would make good referral partners? And if you were cool, you'd say, yeah, because you want to do business, right? Business people want to do business. Not everybody on LinkedIn seems to want to do business. It's very weird.
And I know that's how I met you, which, and I do get a lot of the LinkedIn messages that are just more about, hey, buy my stuff, you might be interested in this, blah, blah, blah. But yours intrigued me so much that I actually went and started looking you up more and watched a couple of your videos and thought, hey, I like this girl. And so, I mean, just you being on this podcast is proof that this works.
Awesome. Great. The LinkedIn system works.
And especially for referral partners. So how would you do you do it any different if it's for a prospect? Because a prospect may not necessarily want to refer you. So would you do the social prospecting any different?
Yeah, well, often actually a prospect will make it very obvious that they want to talk to you about your product or service. It's just they're asking you specific buying questions. If I'm not sure if they're a prospect or not, I'll say, is this for you or someone you know? So they'll say, it's for me. And then it's like, well, let's hop on the phone. I'll answer your questions. And a lot of times, even if they haven't made that obvious, I'll have a conversation assuming it's about being a referral partner, but you would be surprised, or maybe not, at how many conversations I have with people that was meant to go that way. And then they're like, I'm booking an appointment with you. I either want your LinkedIn training, or I want to be hypnotized to be successful, right? So it works, and it all still stems from educating, though. It really is about educating about what I do and giving without any expectation of receiving. But then, heck, it comes back to me because I'm making those conversations. I'm actually talking to people. This is a lost art. I'm a social media marketer like crazy, but still on the phone. Not all day, because empty calendar, full bank account.
At first I was thinking like a health coach, it might not work too well for, because they're looking for somebody who might want to lose weight. But there's lots of other health coaches or entrepreneurs out there that they can still say, hey, maybe we have the same clientele that would still utilize them. Like you said, you go for the referral first, and a lot of them become clients.
I mean, I talk to health coaches all the time. I don't have a need for a health coach, but lots of people do. My clients do.
Right.
So I don't know how many hypnotherapists are on LinkedIn, but that might be a good one for health coaches. Go and connect, because they need follow-up.
Right.
I have a health coach I utilize, but they might want one that's closer to them. So I talk to people all the time.
And I think that's it. I mean, everybody needs different things at different times. So regardless who you're partnering with or getting those referral partners, chances are you're going to have their clients are going to be on their list as well.
Yeah, and I'll just say LinkedIn is primarily B2B. So if you are B2C, then you are looking for referral partners as your primary strategy. I just wanted to add that in there. Yeah, because that's basically what you're saying. Well, I'm looking for clients. It's not B2B.
Exactly. And I think that's where people think LinkedIn won't work for them, is whenever they're thinking, well, my customers aren't there.
Working for my hypnotherapy right now. It's working for hypnotherapy right now.
It's working for hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of other people too. I was a divorce coach before I became the Visibility Wiz. I found a lot of, that's where all the attorneys are.
Yes, of course. That only makes sense. That's great. So smart.
And it wasn't necessarily that I thought somebody going through a divorce was going to hire me from LinkedIn, but I did meet a lot of attorneys, and I got a lot of good relationships with attorneys because of my LinkedIn presence.
Beautiful. Exactly. Magic.
And I know, Melanie, that you have a wonderful gift for our community. Can you share a little bit about it?
I do. So we just talked about being visible on LinkedIn, high visibility, right? And social prospecting. And some people, when they hear that, they might either have a quiet or a really loud voice that's going, oh my God, and it scares you. You've got a fear of rejection is what that is, loud and clear. So I'm giving a hypno talk. It's actually a rapid transformational therapy session full to help your viewers to become bulletproof against rejection so that they can do more prospecting and do more business. Their confidence will come across in what they write, what they say on their phone calls, and they'll make more reach outs to people to actually do prospecting.
Now, is there any actual hypnotism going in there?
There is, but it's very gentle. It's no different from just kind of like listening to a guided meditation in this case. You're not going to go, it's very gentle.
Can you, what is the difference between like a guided visualization and being hypnotized?
In hypnotherapy, in therapy I do, we are commanding, compelling. We are absolutely instructing the mind on exactly what you want, which is different from just imagining, envisioning, which is what we do all the time. And so we're telling the mind exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. So there's no question about what it is that you want. So you have this picture of success in your life. These are the things that you're supposed to be doing to have that success. And we let your mind know that self-sabotage or that procrastination, whatever's going on, is no longer on the menu for your life. These are the things you want to do. And then we tell the subconscious what to do so it can be behind you 100%. And then you become unstoppable. You become bulletproof because your subconscious works for you. It's just as exhilarating as it was before, holding you back, right? So now it's helping you go forward. Yeah.
It's so interesting to me always how much our subconscious runs our life.
90%, some say 95%. It's like going on in the background and you have no idea. So it's best to get it on board.
Exactly. And so to our listeners, you want to head on over to bizsuccessin15.com/MM and grab your free HypnoTalk for entrepreneurs. While you're there, there's going to be a link to how you can get into contact with Melanie if you want to check out a hypnotherapy session with her. You'll also be able to re-listen to today's episode and Melanie's words of wisdom. Download this episode and share it with your friends. So, Melanie, do you have any parting words for our listeners?
I do. I just want to encourage you. You had that fire in your heart when you began. Just flame it and go towards your vision as if nothing can stop you, because nothing can. The only thing that stops you is you. So go after your dreams, dream big, and have all of your heart behind everything you do and have an impact on this world. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for being our guest today.
Awesome, Cindy.
And to our listeners, you want to head on over to bizsuccessin15.com/MM, as in Melanie Milletics, and that's 2 lowercase m's. And you'll be able to find any links from today's show. You'll be able to download the show, listen to past episodes that you might have missed, and be sure to grab Melanie's wonderful gift to you, the free Hypnotalk for entrepreneurs. So be sure to tune in next week for another episode. Big hugs and have a great week. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Biz Success in 15. For all links mentioned in today's show and to watch or listen to previous episodes, visit bizsuccessin15.com. Thanks so much for listening, and be sure to tune in next week for another amazing guest.